Hey, hey, hey. Happy Thursday. Come on in. Pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, incredibly enough, thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So welcome aboard, everyone. Tonight is Thursday, October 23rd, 2025. This is a live stream 1251. If you're not overly familiar with this show, number one, I'm usually feeling much better. You can tell just my voice. Like, anyway, if you're not overly familiar with the show, super casual around here, just hanging out. Excuse me for a second. So it's now going from my sinuses down into here, which is what I hate. I hate when that happens. Anyway, so super casual around here, simply hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news. And we'll normally take a first look at a game, which is what we're doing tonight. In fact, we're double dipping tonight. Every once in a while, I'll just tackle a topic related to our hobby, or just do an AMA and just chew the fat with chat. But tonight, we're going to dive on in. We're going to take a first look at the Vaesen Starter Set from Free League Publishing. And then we'll also take a peek inside the new revised edition of the core rulebook. Both of these are arriving in stores on October 28th. Should also mention there is a review embargo on these. So you want to keep in mind, I'm not reviewing these items. In fact, you see this has shrink wrap on it still. It's all going to be brand new to me. I have reviewed the core rulebook in the past, but now it's a new revised edition. But I am not violating any embargo. I am not issuing a review in this video. Just first looks. We're taking a peek. We're going to take a peek into stuff. I like Vaesen. I think Vaesen's a cool role-playing game. So we'll talk about that too. But I did want to point out, these are not reviews. These are first looks. Big difference. Anyway, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you are not going to find here on YouTube. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. And then lastly, because this is a live stream, there is chat available. Now, you do have to be a subscriber to the channel for at least an hour before you can take part in chat. But if you check off that box and you want to say howdy, maybe you got a question, a comment, by all means, chime in. I will do my very best to respond. First out the gate tonight, and I have no idea why everyone's nicknames have numbers after them this evening. But Semper Buffo, Sean O'Donnell, the Madman is with us, as is 12600 Gray, Kevin R. Smith, Kathy Evans, Captain Infinity, Time Travel Police. Keith Ulu's also with us. Maybe it had something to do with when you got into the chat, because some folks who are popping in a little bit later don't have these oddball numbers after their names. Daryl Errett's also joining us tonight. So yeah, it's me, Mike. I need to look at that. That is the 12,600 Gray. I know, it's weird. Kind of weird. I don't know what's going on with that. Daryl Ehret says they are a fan of Johan Egerkranz's art, which is what Vaesen is based upon, and we get to see a lot of it within Vaesen as well. Keith Lewis says their Eldritch Might prevented the numbers being added on at the end. Kevin R. Smith saying to Mike, if you find a setting to change it back, let us know. Yeah, I had nothing to do with this. I didn't do nothing. Jeff Woody Art is joining us as well, wishing everyone a happy Friday morning from Korea. Very cool. Tomorrow's my birthday. I'm sure some of you who follow the Gaming Gang already know that. I'm not even going to go over to my brother's for my birthday tomorrow because tomorrow is also my sister-in-law's birthday. And then the next day is my mom's birthday, but I just feel lousy. I mean, okay, take that back. I don't feel horrible. I just feel crappy. I hate when I have stuff messing with my sinuses and that. And then, of course, then it starts getting into your chest and becomes like bronchitis. And I don't even know if this thing's contagious or what. Because obviously I came down with it somehow. And all likelihood points to Gamehole Con. So it's just a version of Con Crud. So yes. Anyway, yes. Jeff Woody Art says it's my 25th birthday. Multiply that by 2 and then add 8. And you will have the correct birthday. So there you have it. All right, let's jump on into the news before my voice completely gives out. There is a new Warhammer 40K Wrath and Glory supplement. It's now available for pre-order from Cubicle 7 Games. And I've got the lowdown on Sons of Rus. We are the fury of the storm and the pitiless wrath of endless winter. The Space Wolves are space marines like no other. Hailing from the frozen death world of Fenris, they hold to the tribal traditions of their home, going to battle adorned in shamanic totems and runic script. Their great companies journey tirelessly across the sea of stars, seeking adventure and glory and hoping to honor their oaths to defend the Imperium. Savage by nature, the Space Wolves fight with bestial fury and lupine cunning. I've got a cunning plan, me lord. Sons of Rus is packed with everything you need to begin your adventures as one of these Space Wolves in Warhammer 40,000 Roleplay Wrath and Glory. This includes new archetypes, a range of exciting new Space Wolves archetypes from Initiate Bloodclaws to the fabled Wolf Guard, psychic powers which allow you to harness the fury of the storm and unleash devastating psychic powers on your enemies, war gear and relics from ancient wolf totems to deadly frost blades bring the weapons of the Space Wolves into your Wrath and Glory games. There are the Champions of Fenris, comprehensive new frameworks featuring some of the most iconic and powerful heroes of the chapter. Fangs of the Beast, which begins your saga as the Space Wolves face a mounting orc threat in this extensive and exciting Tier 4 and 5 adventure. Now, keep in mind, Sons of Rus does require the Warhammer 40K Wrath and Glory core rulebook in order to utilize. Now, you can pre-order the 96-page hardcover. I've heard 96, I've heard 98. It's one of the two. With PDF for $34.99. Hardcover is expected to ship in Q2 of 2026. PDF's available right now over at DriveThruRPG for $19.99. So someone recently asked me if which of the two current Warhammer 40K role-playing games from Cubicle 7 Games would I recommend if they wanted to get into role-playing in that universe, but they weren't exactly very well versed in that universe. My recommendation was Wrath and Glory. And the reason behind that is because, now, don't get me wrong, I think Imperium Maledictum's very cool, but it is very focused. You are playing in a particular style. Your characters are specific, whereas Wrath and Glory gives you a wide range of different characters, such as Space Marines. You can play as Space Marines, you can play as Orcs, you can play as Eldari, you can play as Imperial Guard, you can play as civilians. Of course, the powered tier of the adventures is going to change based on the sort of characters, but still. Oh yeah, I'll be doing that all throughout the show. Yes. Madman's wishing me a happy birthday, and a happy birthday to my mom. Thank you very much. Daryl Errett says, speaking of Cubicle 7, they can't wait for more news of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 5e. They reached out to me. I mean, it was kind of a blanket email that went out to reviewers, and they are going to be sending along some PDFs that kind of an early look to see what's going on. So I'm going to take a peek at that, which normally I don't do. You know, just like I could go and check out the old world role-playing game PDFs. All I have to do is ask. I prefer, when I do a first look video by paging through, that it's all brand new to me. But I know a lot of people are curious about it, so I'm going to take a peek. So Kevin R. Smith is asking if they've revealed any hints about some of the changes. There were some in the email, amazingly enough. And I guess there are some things that are going to be radically changed. And I do believe magic is probably the biggest one. All right, let's see. So we have Hawks YZ250 in chat. So that might, there we go. They're wondering, why is their screen name different? Right, exactly. Everybody's is bizarre. Taco Loco 787 is popping on into chat. Could be somebody who's usually hanging with us. I don't know. It's very bizarre. And then some people like W Forge is like, no, it's just me. W Forge. I don't know. Kind of weird. It's YouTube doing its YouTube stuff. No rhyme, no reason. Just making sure people don't watch. That's pretty much what YouTube does. Moonrise Long, there is a new PDF for the household role-playing game that's landed. It is A Saga of the Long Winter. And I've got the skinny from Two Little Mice. The Long Winter is not a literal winter. It is a Cold War that lasted a handful of years, spanning from the fall of Feriev to the Battle of Frostwing. So imagine that you are in a time full of infighting, rebellion, wild frontiers, and long journeys, where the folk from the inside and outside come together and clash for the first time, meeting and understanding each other through the conflicts. This is where your new adventure will begin. Welcome to the Saga of the Long Winter, a book filled with stories that will lead you on tiny, great adventures and straight to the heart of the garden. For 2 years of bitter conflict between the Fae and the Seelie court and the fairies of the household realm, years that left an indelible mark on the history of both household and outhold. A Saga of the Long Winter is an expansion for household role-playing game. In order to enjoy it fully, you're also going to need Household Volume 2. I shared news about that previously. Inside this book, you'll find truly special characters, in fact, 30 of them, who lived incredible adventures in the outhold. 6 introductory adventures described in the smallest details, plus 42 narrative prompts composing a saga of the long winter. The epilogue crowning the thrilling stories the noteworthy characters have lived through, set at the end of the long winter, and a timeline of everything that has happened in the household and outhold, from the master's disappearance to the long winter. This 200-page PDF is now available over at DriveThruRPG for $20. No word yet on the release date for physical copies of this book. I am going to guess the MSRP will probably be about $50 because I have seen, well, I don't know how legit it is, but I would take a stab that it's probably fairly legit. I saw one MSRP of 50 euros, but still no release date. So Tia Sarah 84 is with us. It's the lovely and talented Miss Sarah D, our other chat moderator alongside the Madman. So yes, it's everybody's getting messed up. So she said it's their actual YouTube account name, not their usual nickname. That's kind of weird. I don't know. I do not know. All right. Anyway, I would love to take a peek at this. I would really like to see Household, or even, Adventures in the Household, which is built on 5e mechanics. I think the Household RPG might actually be built on the outgunned mechanics. Maybe not. I don't know. Like I said, I have not had an opportunity to dive on in and check this out. All right, on to our next news piece. Author Daniel James Hanley has joined forces with Bundle of Holding for a money-saving offer on the Ghastly Affair role-playing game, and I've got the deets on the deal. Adventura. This all-new Ghastly Affair bundle presents, well, you've guessed it, Ghastly Affair, Daniel James Hanley's tabletop role-playing game of gothic and romantic horror in the decadent, disastrous age of Marie Antoinette, Napoleon, and Lord Byron. I don't know if it's necessarily disastrous for everyone. Maybe if you're the Marquis de Sade, that would be pretty bad. But in the ghastly age of Europe, 1765 to 1820, you can be an imperiled true innocent seeking kindness in a wicked world, a libertine pursuing dangerous liaisons in salons and ballrooms, a demon hunter tracking the horrors of the night. Live the outrageous black comedy of the grave robber, command dark sorcery as the magician, seek nature's forbidden secrets as the mad scientist, deal with the devil, and bargain with death. Ghastly Affair is a game of inescapable histories, desperate compulsions, and tragic passions in high society filled with human monsters as terrifying as any werewolf. For just $9.95, you'll get all 6 titles in the Ghastly Collection, which has retail value of $40, as DRM-free PDFs, including the offer's beating heart, the complete 370-page Ghastly Affair Player's Manual, and 306-page Presenter's Manual, 4 full-length supplements, castles, mansions, and estates, a ghastly potpourri, gothic icons, and high dark hall, as well as 6 short location catalogs. Quite a lot. I'm kind of surprised it's over 600 pages between the 2 core books. Pretty amazing. These savings are going to run through November 10th. And I have to say, outside of what I just read, that's all I know about a Ghastly Affair. No relation to a current affair. Man says, sounds like YouTube's been slowly rolling out the usage of the handles instead of names. Apparently, it's for future mobile tagging. I thought maybe it's AI related because, everywhere you turn, they're trying to shove AI down your throat. Now, as a creator, you have this little tab, and it's like, oh, do you want AI assistance? It's like, no, I don't. I would rather take a pass on the extra views that AI PAP would get me and just continue to custom craft everything. Keith Lewis says artificial intelligence, more like artificial stupidity. Yeah, you ever notice when you get that AI answer to your question on Google, about 30% of the time it's completely wrong. It's like, yeah, hey, thanks. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. All right, moving right along. Now available in print and PDF from Land of the Blind is the Vagabond Pulp Fantasy Role-Playing. And here's what I know. Drawing inspiration from medieval romance stories, dungeon synth, and all dungeon crawlers to come before it, Vagabond is a tabletop role-playing game that blends old-school practicality and modern TTRPG character expression. It also takes inspiration from modern pulp fantasy influence, with the potential for a goblin gunslinger to be delving a mummy's tomb alongside a dwarf witch in search of Excalibur. You're not going to be pulling it from the stone, I will tell you right now. Things will get weird. This is a D20-based system with solo, co-op, and guided play. Deep, light load character creation. It is basic expert compatible. It is the easiest system to GM with light math and high action. This core rulebook features 18 classes, 7 ancestries, human, dwarf, elf, halfling, draken, orc, and goblin. Over 100 perks, over 60 spells, more than 200 stat blocks, and it is 100% human-made artwork, design, and writing. Also has a procedurally generated solo dungeon, Ruinous League. The 208-page hardcover with PDF can be had over at Drive-Thru RPG for $39.99. It is also available as a soft cover. I want to say, I think that's $29.99 with the PDF. If you want to just grab the PDF alone, you can do so for $19.99. Sounds kind of cool. Bit of dungeon delving. It's got some old school sort of flair to it, but maybe more modern mechanics. That's kind of wild. It caught my eye, so I thought I would share this with you. On to my final news piece. Handiwork Games is now taking pre-orders for the 5 Evil role-playing game. Here's the latest. 5 Evil is a standalone horror role-playing game from Handiwork Games, the fiendish minds behind Beowulf, Age of Heroes, A-State 2nd Edition, and Masked Witches of Forgotten Doggerland. 5 Evil has been carefully crafted to evoke the horror genre by cleverly twisting the underlying 5th edition rule set. 5 Evil subverts 5th edition play to defy expectations and concentrate the horror. Taking rules you know and twisting them up, 5 Evil creates a truly intense and unsettling horror gaming experience. It's also packed with advice and ideas on how to create the very best horror gaming sessions. The primary setting focus is modern-day horror inspired by the works of Stephen King and moody character-driven horror films like The Ritual, The Descent, and Jacob's Ladder, alongside miniseries like Midnight Mass by Mike Flanagan and the scariest of Twin Peaks episodes. Rather than seeking out evil in order to vanquish it or investigating clues to battlement line influence, characters in 5 Evil are regular people trapped in a terrifying situation, just attempting to survive and escape. Pure Evil was created and written by Morgan Davey, features art by Scott Purdy and John Hodgson, and boasts graphic design and layout by Paul Bourne. This standalone core book contains all the rules you need to create characters and play the game, as well as 5 sample adventures to show you how to best run 5 Evil with tons of combustibility and replay value. You can pre-order the 208-page hardcover with PDF for approximately $52.99. That is because it's over in the UK. If you want to grab just the PDF, you can do so over at DriveThruRPG. It is part of the Halloween sale, which is currently going on. It is $13.79 as I speak. Normally, it's $19.99. All right. And there is another release for 5 Evil that's on the horizon. I want to say it's called Netherworlds. So when that pops up, I will let you know. All right. So Kevin R. Smith is now Kevin's Lore. There you go. All right. That is it for the news tonight. Made it through that so far. Although my nose is running all over the place. I better catch it. So we are going to dive on in. We're going to take a first look at the Vaesen Starter Set as well as the Revised Edition core book in just a few moments. But first, wanted to mention that's it for the news tonight. And of course, during the news, I talked about DriveThruRPG quite a bit. Don't forget, the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you're going to go visit DriveThruRPG or Storyteller's Vault, Dungeon Masters Guild, Wargame Vault, any of those One Bookshelf sites, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banners. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get 5% of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. Also, if you like the video and how I'm just struggling through, give it a quick thumbs up. You'll like the video if you dig the channel, if you find the Gaming Gang to be a valuable resource. Hell, if you just like what we do. There are a couple of other ways that you can actually support the outlet. First, by making a one-time donation by way of PayPal. Hell, you can buy me a 2-liter bottle of decongestant. Actually, I really can't take decongestant because of the meds I'm on, so I'm actually not taking anything. Because I don't trust how things will react or interact with the medications I take. So, and asking Google doesn't help. Why, certainly sticking your head in the oven will help relieve blocked sinuses. Go ahead. All right. Turn that gas on really high. Okay. So you can make a one-time donation by way of PayPal, or you can become a member of our Patreon. It is a monthly membership, and on all the live shows, I like to give a shout out to our Patreon members, such as Gustavo Cavalho, my designer friend Herman Lutman, Jason Lawman, Caval, Kevin R. Smith, Max Apocalypse, Sean O'Donnell, Talzek, Dan Webb, Game Cat, Kevin King, Pete Strakulich, RPG Munch, Tessie Trekkie, Tier 2 DM, Agile Monk, Flint Fireforge, and the Madman. Thank you kindly, everyone. It is vastly appreciated. Thank you very much. So more discussion going on about trying to change these nicknames, the handles. So as an example, Lord Cost 2000 pops in. That's their nickname, which we usually see. And then we have like Kevin's Lore, which he's just changed it from what it was before. I think it was Kevin R. Smith and like 4 numbers or something. Don't know. It's like I said, it's just odd. It's YouTubing. Just like when we got booted 2 weeks ago doing the stream. And it was just like, it was right almost exactly on the hour mark. And I was like, boink. And I couldn't reconnect to the streaming server. Like, what the hell's going on here? YouTubing. That's what it is. That's what it is, everybody. All right. So we are going to be diving in. We're going to start off with the starter set for Vaesen. But first, I think it's time. I don't know. What time do you folks think it is? I think it's time for a brief intermission.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out for a delicious snack in our sparkling refreshment building. Every item a fresh, appetizing taste treat.
There's a vacancy at the Bates Motel.
Norman, is that you?
No, it's Buzz McKenzie, and it could be you. Look for this display and enter Bud Light Psycho Sweepstakes to win a Bud Light party with Buzz McKenzie at the Psycho Mansion. You can even get a mug like Spud's at participating retailers. Wow!
That Spud's is so cool, it's scary.
Frank and Sarah are starting a new life with a beautiful home and new opportunities.
You. Just watch, we'll have lots of dough.
Soon, I hope.
Very soon, I give you my promise on that.
We the only ones who are gonna live here, Daddy?
Well, I certainly hope so.
But they're not alone in their new home.
Mommy, something happened upstairs. You have to come and see.
It smells like something. Metallic, I think. Where's it coming from?
There are others living among them.
Well, I'll tell you, since then, quite a few strange things have been happening here.
Others who aren't strangers to this house.
We have no money and you're spending most of all your time chasing ghosts. It's absurd.
What is it you want from me?
Others who don't like their new guests.
Sarah! Sarah, come here! And this family's moving now.
Others who want their new guests to leave. Visitors stay another night.
Just to show you, it's not only Americans who make absolute trash horror movies. And my God, the dub. Oh, was it? Hey, we know you three just finished doing the dub for that Japanese anime. I need to get over to Studio 7 so we can have you dub this Swedish horror movie. No, don't worry. You don't have to rehearse. God. Although, weirdly, at the end, there was like a quote from Variety saying, wow, this is a really scary movie. It's like, really? What? All righty. So tonight, we're going to take a double dip of Vaesen horror, or Vaesen. I think it's supposed to be pronounced Vaesen. Sort of like that. Hey, it's like everything. I mispronounce everything. Just how it works. Anyway, we're going to take a look at the starter set. It is from Free League Publishing. This is arriving in stores on October 28th. We'll carry an MSRP of $29.99. So we'll swing on over to the other camera, because here I've got the starter set. So I should mention that my friends over at Free League Publishing were kind enough to provide me with this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this first look with you. It's important for you to know that. We're not going to take a look at each and every item that's in here. Do want to give you a good feel for what you're going to find inside. Now, there was some discussion in chat about the review embargo. What is a review embargo and such? So a review embargo means that I cannot share a review of both this as well as, in fact, it's all 4 of the new Vaesen releases until October 28th. I do believe the City of Nightmares, I think that's the name of it, was delayed. So I think that's coming out a little bit later. I think it's sometime in November. I would take a guess that probably also has moved its embargo back. So does that mean I can't show you what's in this? Does it mean I can't show you some pages of the revised edition of the core rulebook? No. It means I can't share a review. I can't tell you what I think of this until the 28th, which is when this goes on sale. More and more publishers are doing release date embargoes. Part of it is to give creators kind of level the playing field. So that's one of the reasons. I know sometimes with a release date embargo, it's because the publisher doesn't feel like strongly about their release and a little worried about getting negative reviews beforehand. I'm not necessarily saying that's the case here with Free League Publishing, but I have seen that in the past as well. So as you know, I have already reviewed the original core book as well as the supplements that have come out for this horror role-playing game. I like this. I think this is a cool setting. The rules are relatively light. They're not super lightweight, but easy to get into. So let's take a look at the back here. In dark forests and forlorn mountains, by black lakes and hidden groves, at your doorstep, in the shadows, something stirs. Strange beings, twisted creatures lurking at the edge of vision, watching, waiting, unseen by most, but not by you. You see them for what they really are. Vaesen. Welcome to the Mythic North, Northern Europe in the 19th century, but not as we know it today. A land where the myths are real. Vaesen Nordic Horror Roleplaying, based on the acclaimed art book by Johan Egerkrans, presents a dark Gothic setting steeped in Nordic folklore and the dark myths of old. This starter set is designed to be the perfect starting point for role-playing in the mythic North, where the characters are members of the secret society whose members have the sight to see Vaesen. And then it tells us what this box set contains. We are going to be taking a peek. So I'm not going to read that because we'll see what we've got. All right. So we have got 2 sets of dice here. Let's see if they're cut dice. Probably. They look like they are. And they are. They are cut dice. So that's cool. So 2 sets. Because you usually have 5. So we've got that. We've got a games catalog. We've got a small deck of initiative cards. Because just like Dragonbane in Vaesen, you're going to be dealt an initiative card. It's like we've got a sheet here telling us what's inside. I've got to say that Free League Publishing's been super busy. There are 2 fairly major news releases. And I didn't share them today because I don't like double dip. Like if I'm, sharing a first look at something, I don't like to also share a news piece from that company. But Truvangd, I think that's how it's pronounced, which is a Swedish setting. It's kind of I think it's inspired by the Vikings, which was for the original, what is it? Demons and Dragons. Isn't that what the translation is? Well, it's what Dragonbane is now. That's coming out. Also pre-orders for the Twilight 2000 box set. Now I can't remember. Operation Reset. I think that's it. Kevin R. Smith says Dragons and Demons. Thank you, Kevin. So anyway, pretty wild. And then of course we got this stuff coming out. We got Alien, Alien Evolved, which I have put in requests for review copies of that. So man, lots going on from Free League Publishing. So when I picked up this box, it's not super heavy, but it is not as light as, say, the starter set. Because every starter set I've seen from Free League Publishing, I have thought was really good at the very least, except for one. It was the Tales from the Loop. I always want to say Things from the Flood, but that's the follow-up. And there was just nothing in it. That shouldn't be the case here. So this looks like this is our rule book. So it is clocking in probably about 18 pages or so. So this is streamlined as far as I understand. Walona's Cave is joining us in chat. Tessie Trekkie says they're waiting for the postman to deliver their Alien Evolved Kickstarter rewards. Nice. All right. So it gives us a little bit of a breakdown of the Mythic North. What are Vaesen? Throughout history, humans have shared their land with Vaesen. Trolls, ghosts, lindworms, and other creatures inhabiting the forests and the lakes. Many have helped the farmers in their back-breaking labor and made the dark winter nights more bearable with enchanted music and gifts in the form of strange handicrafts to blacksmiths and lute players. Although Vaesen have always been present, few have actually seen them. The creatures are imperceptible to the human eye. They choose whether to reveal themselves. It is said that their presence may be inferred from something as innocuous as a draft in the room or from the abnormal behavior of farm animals. One of the cool things about Vaesen, especially the adventures that have come out, so their adventure collections, and there's always, okay, maybe not always, but a vast majority of the time, there's a tone of melancholy which runs through the adventures. And the Vaesen themselves, sometimes they're evil. They're just simply evil monsters. Other times they're misunderstood, or at other times there's a conflict between the world of the Vaesen and modernity, you know? I really like that. I dig that a lot. As far as action resolution, we have skill tests. Now, I do believe that this is kind of a trimmed down skill section here. So our skills are agility, close combat, force, medicine, ranged combat, stealth, investigation, learning, vigilance, inspiration, manipulation, and observation. And they are all based upon an attribute. If I remember right, we have 4. Yeah, we've got 4. It's been a while since I've taken a peek at Vaesen. Wild Hunter is with us in chat. So they said that they like the idea of a player's codex to help identify the Vaesen, or Vaesen. So what you'll do is you'll have a number. So let's say you've got precision 2 and stealth 2, right? So that's 4 dice. So when you're using a skill, you take the number which you've got for the attribute, and then you add the number that you have for the skill. So as an example, say it's a 4. So you're looking to roll 6s. 6s are successes. I do believe that it's only 6s, not like, yes, exactly, 6s. Because there are some Year Zero engine role-playing games out there where it's 4 or higher. Like Twilight 2000 is a different version of the Year Zero engine, and it uses dice other than only 6-sided dice. So I'd be like, okay, all right, so is that a 6 or a 1? That is a 6. So I would have 1 success. So whatever I was looking to achieve, say utilizing stealth, would be a success. Now, is it a great success? No, because I only got 1 success, but I still succeeded. And as far as multiple successes right here, it's in combat, it's more damage. If it would be in just narrative play, it's just going to be more of a role-playing prompt. Renkaru is also with us. Not sure if they're a returning champion with just a different nickname showing up, or if it's a first-time visit. They said they've played and GM'd the game once. They like the atmosphere. Sometimes they do wish it was a bit more frightening. Maybe that's just the Call of Cthulhu fan in them. I will say there were like 2 or 3 adventures, which of course are going to still be 100% compatible with this revised edition, that I thought with the right game master, I thought it could be really spooky, really, really spooky. Maybe not the same terrors that you encounter in Call of Cthulhu. Semper Buffa says they've played a few sessions of Vaesen. Well, did you enjoy it? Don't leave us hanging. Hey, wait a second. There's a review embargo. You can't tell anybody. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. All right, so we got combat. Looks like we only got a couple of pages devoted to that. As I mentioned, we got these initiative cards. You're going to deal out the initiative cards. They're just numbered cards. That's all. So 1, 2, probably 10, I think we go up to. So we got that. Talking about conditions and damage. So you do not have hit points. In Vaesen, you have different levels of damage. So you can be broken. So if you've gone through your 3 physical and mental steps, then you're broken. Doesn't necessarily mean you're dead, but it does mean you're kind of out of the fight. So there we go. So Rencaro says they're Char Aznable. Yeah, I recall your nickname. Says for some reason YouTube likes to change their name for whatever reason. Yeah, that's going on tonight with a lot of folks. Some of them just have their regular name with the number after it, and other folks it's changing things up. And other people it's like, no, nothing different. All right. So we have also got our adventure, The Haunting of Castle Gillenkreutz. We have the Codex Occultum. We have player aids. So on this side, we've got all the pertinent information as far as skill tests, helping, pushing, slow and fast actions, movement, dodging and parrying, conditions, and fear. Handouts for the adventure. We have got pre-generated characters. Let's take a look at a couple of these. Otto Nystrom. So they have blessing once per session. They can bless an object or another player character. They gain the blessed advantage, adding +2 to a test of their choice. And there you go. There is the character sheet here. As you can see, not too detailed. Okay, take that back. It's got detail to it, but it's not like you've got, oh, well, my character sheet is 4 pages long. So, Tessie Trek said they played a Vaesen mini campaign at their friendly local game store. It was plenty spooky. They got freaked out enough in character that their elderly PC got spooked, fired his rifle at a noise in the bush, killed another PC. That sounds familiar, eh? Or maybe not. Maybe some people won't find that familiar. All right, so we'll put those back. So this looks, yeah, it's a map of Castle Gillenkreutz, Kreutz or whatever. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Single-sided. Got a map of the Mythic North. You'll also find this map inside the core rulebook. So for $29.99, it looks like you're getting a pretty solid amount of content. This seems like this has the most page count. Take a peek at that. Keep in mind, this is an adventure. So even though I know nothing about this adventure, probably going to see some spoilers as we flip through. I'm going to read, see if there's a synopsis to start us off. There is a little bit. This adventure is designed to introduce the players to the rules and world of Vaesen. Maybe the giveaway to that is because it's in the starter set. It allows the player characters to meet for the first time and rediscover the society's headquarters, Castle Gillenkreutz in Uppsala. The adventure is written to be played in a single sitting, but can be split into multiple sessions if you prefer. All right, so I'm going to skip some pages here. No, there's a friendly-looking soul there. Actually, I should. Where's our credits? Let's give some credit here where credit is due. Various different writers, illustrators, and such. We'll go back to that rule book too and do that. Oh, there you go. There's your spoiler. That's who's behind all that. Hey, once again, we get that map of the castle. What was that? About 10 pages? Excuse me, 10 pages? No, 12. 12 pages for that. Okay. Credits again. I'm sure many of these names are going to be the same, but still. There we go. And then we have the Codex Occultum, which is going to be some of our creatures. The Ash Tree Wife. The Church Grim. That's one of the pretty good adventures in one of the collections. The player characters are dealing with a Church Grim, a mare. the Nisi or Nice, the Spurtus. Looks like we got quite a few of these in here. The werewolf. The werewolf is a shapeshifter, a human that can transform into a wolf or a bear. There are several ways to create a werewolf. A human can turn into one through a curse from a Vaesen or a wizard. A baby might become a shapeshifter if the mother's pain during childbirth is relieved through magic. And some people can use magic to willingly turn themselves into werewolves. Finally, those who survive a creature's bite may become werewolves themselves. When the moon is full. And we have a woodwife. All right, so, of course, there's more than that in there. And where's our credits? Are they back here? No, that's weird. Did not see a credits page. All right. So we've got the two maps. We've got our little player aids. We've got our Codex Occultum. We've got the Haunting of Castle Gillenkreutz, as well as our rules, our set of dice, our initiative cards, our little getting started, and our catalog from Free League Publishing. That's what we find inside the Vaesen Starter Set. And of course, I will have a review of this. I'll try to get it out by the 28th, which is when the review embargo will lift. All right. And then this is our revised edition of the core rulebook. I'm going to spend a little less time taking a peek at this because I have reviewed the core rulebook in the past. This is just streamlining some stuff. To my knowledge, it's not like there's wholesale changes being made to the game. So I would take a guess, probably some of the content is exactly the same as it was before. But this will also be arriving in stores on October 28th. This will carry an MSRP of $49.99. The PDFs are not available yet, at least not on DriveThruRPG, they aren't. But if you do pre-order from Free League Publishing, you will receive the PDFs absolutely free. And I do believe you'll get them pretty much immediately. So here are all the folks who brought Vaesen to life. So we get a preface from Johan Egerkrans. It's our introduction. As you can see, there's the cover for the starter set. The form of the game. The Society's expeditions start from Uppsala with the purpose of solving a mystery that has come to your attention. Mystery usually lasts between 1 and 3 game sessions of 4 to 6 hours each. I wish, right? That's the old days. That'd be a real quick jaunt. Well, we're only going to play 6 hours? Seriously? What, you got to be someplace? Now it'd be like, come on, we're almost 4 hours. Come on, play for 4 hours. At least that's how it is with my gang. A typical session starts with you making preparations such as buying equipment, gaining knowledge at a library, and visiting friends and contacts. An invitation of some kind initiates the story. It tells of a place where a Vaesen seems to be present. The invitation could be a letter from someone asking for help or rumors of people going missing. On the way to this location, you have the opportunity to prepare by gaining a so-called advantage. You get a chance to describe and play your character in a short scene where you acquire an item, gain an insight, or meet someone who can help you once you reach the location. It's essentially a one-shot bonus. Agile Monk is with us in chat. So they used to play 10 to 16 hours, the good old days. Yeah, when I was in high school in the summertime, we might play 10 hours at Elliott's and then go grab something to eat, play for a few more hours, then zonk out for the night in the wee hours of the morning, and then end up getting up like 10 o'clock in the morning and starting back up again. All right, so just kind of taking a quick peek through here. Some of our archetypes that we've got: the academic, the doctor, the hunter, the occultist, the officer, the priest, the private detective, the servant, the vagabond, and the writer. We get into our skills. The skills are very broad, as I already discussed, as far as action resolution. We were taking a peek at the starter set. You have 6-sided dice. You need to roll a 6 on the 6-sided die for a success. And what you do is you will roll your attribute plus your skill. So that'll give you your dice pool. So a lot of times your dice pool is going to be 3 dice, sometimes more, sometimes less, actually. So looks like we're getting kind of a breakdown on the talents for each of those archetypes as well, or general talents. So talents are not skills. Talents are additions to your character. So kind of setting them apart, because everybody has access to the same skills. Talents, different. So you got our critical injuries. Combat is relatively fast moving in this. It is more narrative in its approach. It's not heavily tactical or anything like that. One of the aspects that I recall from the core rulebook is a lot of focus on the setting, the lore, running the game. And I like that a lot because, as I had mentioned when we took a look at the starter set, this is a relatively rules light game. It is very easy for players to wrap their heads around. So this is talking about the magic. Then we're going to get into our bestiary, which we already saw many of these in that codex. Agile Monk with a $10 super chat. Sounds like you got con crud, my brother. Here's something for lozenges and such. Yes. Yes, that is true. Started off in my sinuses. Now it's working its way down into the old lungs. So, yeah. And, funny enough, I used to get bronchitis quite often. Then the past couple of years, past 2-3 years, I haven't had it. I guess I'm going to end up with it from this probably. All right, so more of the Vaesen here. Then we're going to get into an introductory adventure. This is giving us an idea of how the adventures work, because the adventures are going to follow kind of a flow. Not always, but for the most part, almost episodic. But as you can see, this is just jam-packed. I got to say, it looks like there might be a little less white space than there was originally. I can't say for sure. Because that's one thing that people have kind of whinged about is the amount of white space in the Vaesen books. And I can see that. I can see their critique. All right, so this is going to be our introductory adventure, The Dance of Dreams. Let me get some life path tables. It's an alternate method for creating your character. I think this is how we're going to wrap up the book. Yep, that's it. And then we'll get our character sheets. Again, we saw completed pre-gens, but this is the blank character sheet. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a review of this revised edition. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it, obviously. But since I've already reviewed the core book, and I don't think there's like massive changes going on, I think Some of it is the presentation has been changed to make it a little easier for people to understand some of the concepts of the game, which honestly, I don't recall really having any problems with the first edition, but I will have a review of the starter set. I'll see what happens. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Anyway, but I will obviously let the viewers know what I think of this revised edition of the core rulebook, which once again is going to arrive October 28th, carrying an MSRP of $49.99. As far as the PDF, I'm going to take a stab that I'm going to see this for $19.99, $24, well, probably $24.99. And then the starter set will probably be $14.99. All righty. So that is a peek at Vaesen Nordic Horror Roleplaying, as well as the starter set from my friends at Free League Publishing. Once again, just first looks. These are not reviews. There is a review embargo until next week, so I did not break it. Just because I know about the game doesn't mean I'm breaking the review embargo. All right, so what are we going to do next week? Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to kick off, as long as I still have a voice and I can get in front of the mic, we are going to take a look at Mythic Carpathia for Vaesen. Wednesday and Thursday, I don't know. I got plenty of stuff for us to take a look at, but I am trying to stick with kind of like horror related stuff. Sorry about that. And I'm going to have to see what I've got left, because I think we've covered most of it, if not all of it. But like I said, don't worry. I've got plenty of goodies for us to take a peek at. I've got enough to get us through probably maybe even into December right now. Well. All right, that is it for this time out. If you're watching live, thank you very much. If you watched live and took part in chat, tip of the cap to you. Even with all the crazy different new nicknames and things like that. It's like, who's that? I don't know who that is. Oh, it's Mike. Oh, hi, Mike. Anyway, if you took part in chat, thank you, because not only are you keeping me company, you're also keeping each other company as I'm sharing the news, or I'm flipping through a role-playing game book, or unboxing a board game. But of course, I know a lot of folks, they don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. Thank you for taking time out to watch any of the over 2,300 videos here on the channel. Yowza. Of course, if you like the video, be sure to give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell, because it'll not only let you know, at least it's supposed to let you know, when the Dispatch streams live Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Central. I'll also let you know when I share other videos, such as my first look at Eldritch Gits from Broken Rat Games. It is mobsters and I guess I would say, I don't want to say lowlifes. Let's just say criminal elements and the Cthulhu mythos. And they're not necessarily battling the Cthulhu mythos. So pretty interesting concept there. But of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you are not going to find here on YouTube. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Thank you very much for the birthday wishes, as well as the get well soon wishes. Knock on wood, I should be back to relative normality next week. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thank you kindly for watching. And as always, I certainly hope all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.